Picture this. Monday night at the gym, International Chest Day. Benches are packed, plates are clanging. Two lifters get ready to battle it out. On one side, the barbell bench press. A heavy bar bending under 45s, a lifter with an arched back, and a spotter locked in. On the other hand, the dumbbell bench press. Giant weights hoisted into position, arms shaking slightly to stay balanced. I've been in this scene countless times. Adrenaline pumping as I pick my weapon. Personally, I've always gravitated toward the barbell, chasing that raw strength and heavy press. But legends like Jay Cutler swear by dumbbells to carve out that champion chest. And here comes the million-dollar question. Which one is better for muscle building? The barbell or the dumbbell? Today, we're diving into the ultimate bench press showdown. Exploring muscle activation, strength potential, safety, and hypertrophy. I'll blend personal experience with science and separate gym myth from muscle truth. I still remember the first time I benched 225 pounds, 2 plates aside. It felt like slaying a dragon. The barbell bench press had always been that gold standard for upper body strength. It lets you press heavy using your chest, shoulders, and triceps in perfect sync. Both hands fixed on a single bar create a stable, unified force like a battering ram. Dumbbells, in contrast, are like dual swords, each arm moving independently, forcing you to balance and control the weight with no built-in stability. Even a small wobble, and you feel the difference instantly. And yes, it's measurable. Studies show that lifters can push more total weight with a barbell. 1 rep maxes are higher, and even in fatigue tests, barbell sets last longer. College athletes managed about 14 reps with a barbell versus about 12 with equivalent dumbbells. The bar helps unify your strength, letting both arms work together instead of separately. It's like doing push-ups on the floor versus on 2 medicine balls. One is stable and powerful, the other more unstable and demanding, but with less total force. This leads to a key debate. Do dumbbells, with their added instability, make for better muscle growth? Some say yes. More stabilizers get involved. Others argue that because you can't lift as heavy, barbells may be better for overloading the main movers. We'll break that down next when we look at actual muscle activation and hypertrophy. But one thing is clear. If your goal is pure strength, the barbell bench has the edge. I've chased those numbers myself, and nothing quite beats the rush of adding another plate and hitting a new PR. Dumbbells have their place, but for power and progression, the barbell delivers. So yes, barbells build brute strength, dumbbells test control. But how does that translate to actual muscle growth? Let's zoom in and find out. I still remember the first time I swapped out the barbell for heavy dumbbells. I expected my chest to explode with activation. After all, gym lore says dumbbells are better for pecs because you can press inward and squeeze at the top, almost like a fly motion. And in theory, it makes sense. Dumbbells allow more freedom, letting you bring your hands together and create that bear hug squeeze. One study even backed this up, showing greater pectoral activation with dumbbells. But as always, science has layers. Other research, especially at heavier loads like 1 rep maxes or sets of 6, shows no significant difference in chest activation between dumbbells and barbells. When you look at the broader data, it's clear. Both activate the chest about equally. Why? Because by the time you get that top squeeze, your chest has already done most of the work. So even if dumbbells offer more range of motion, the overall muscle recruitment ends up similar. That's the pec story, but what about the supporting players? Your front delts work about the same in both lifts, but your triceps? That's where things split. Research shows that barbell bench hits the triceps harder. When pressing a bar, you naturally apply some outward force. In fact, up to 25% of the force in a heavy barbell press comes from this lateral tension. Dumbbells can't create that. If you press outward, you literally throw the weight sideways, so the triceps get less involved. I feel this in my own training. After a barbell session, my triceps are toast. After dumbbells, it's my chest that gives out first, and the triceps get a bit of a break. Think of it like this. The barbell is a train on rails, stable, powerful, and the triceps are helping drive it straight ahead. The dumbbell press is off-road, each arm driving solo, demanding control, but with less tricep dominance. The takeaway? Both build the chest well, but for more triceps involvement and top-end power, barbells win. If your goal is pure pec focus and balance, dumbbells might be your move. We've covered how each lift activates a muscle. Now let's tackle the next big question. Which one feels better to perform and which is safer? Time to talk about injury risks and form. As someone who spent years under the bar, I can tell you, the barbell bench press demands both respect and caution. Loading heavy plates, sliding underneath, locking your grip, it feels like gearing up for battle. And for good reason. We've all heard the horror stories. Failed reps without a spotter, bars pinning lifters to the bench, or worse, torn pecs and blown shoulders. Even legends like Jay Cutler have strong opinions. The bench press is the standard, he says, but it's the worst exercise for bodybuilding. His issue? Too much pressure on the shoulders, and a high risk of injury once you start pushing big numbers. Jay ditched flat barbell pressing early in his pro career, opting for dumbbells and machines. Still heavy, but far more joint-friendly. So why might dumbbells be safer? They allow your arms to move naturally. You're not locked into one grip or rigid path. You can adjust your elbow angle and range of motion based on how your body feels. That freedom helps reduce stress on your shoulders and pec tendons. A barbell, on the other hand, locks you into a fixed plane, which can be unforgiving if your mobility or setup isn't on point. And if you fail a dumbbell press, you can drop them safely to the side. A failed barbell press? That's a different story. Unless you've got a spotter or safety pins, you're at risk of getting pinned. That said, barbells aren't inherently dangerous. I had my own shoulder scare early on, which forced me to clean up my form. Once I focused on proper technique, scapular retraction, moderate grip, elbows tucked, my pain disappeared, and my progress came back. Experts like Dr. Mike Israetel echo this. With smart programming and good form, barbell benching can be both safe and effective. On the dumbbell side, there are a few quirks too, like kicking them into position or keeping balance under heavy loads. Overall, they're more forgiving and easier on the joints, especially for bodybuilding style training with moderate weights and higher reps. That's why many seasoned pros eventually lean away from the heavy barbell work in favor of dumbbells and machines. It's a move toward longevity. So where does that leave us? It depends on your goals and your risk tolerance. If you're chasing big strength numbers, barbells are essential. Just train smart and protect yourself. But if your goal is muscle growth with less wear and tear, dumbbells might be the better long-term play. Both work. The key is knowing which tool fits your body and your mission. For most lifters, the ultimate goal is hypertrophy, building muscle. So, which bench press is better for chest growth, barbell or dumbbell? After years of switching between both, I found that research and real-world results point to the same conclusion. Both are equally effective for growing the chest, as long as you train hard. They're both compound movements with similar mechanics, and studies consistently show that chest activation is nearly identical between the two. Whether I was doing heavy barbell sets or high-rep dumbbell work, my chest grew, because what really matters is tension, effort, and consistency, not the equipment. That said, each has its strengths. The barbell tends to hit the triceps harder, especially with a closer grip, thanks to the fixed hand position. If you want stronger, thicker arms alongside chest growth, that's a bonus. Dumbbells, on the other hand, allow for a deeper stretch and better peak contraction, which may enhance chest isolation and stretch-mediated hypertrophy, as long as you don't overstretch or compromise your joints. Interestingly, stability differences between barbells and dumbbells don't significantly impact muscle growth. Studies comparing machines and free weights show similar hypertrophy outcomes, meaning you don't need instability to grow, and lighter weights still work if you train close to failure. That's the beauty of it. Effort and progression matter more than the tool. A challenging set of dumbbells can grow your chest just as well as a heavy barbell, as long as you push hard. Personally, I rotate between both. Barbell blocks help me build strength and push heavier loads, while dumbbells give me more control and a deeper mind-muscle connection. This blend has paid off over time. It's the same approach used by pros. Arnold started heavy with barbells, then isolated with dumbbells and flies. Jay Cutler skipped the barbell but trained hard with dumbbells and machines. Jeff Nippard calls the barbell bench A tier, but still mixes in dumbbells for variety and joint health. Both lifts work. Choose based on your body, goals, and recovery. Your chest doesn't care what you press with, only how hard you work. Every lifter has one exercise that just clicks. For me, it's the barbell bench press. Call it old school, but there's nothing like lying back on the bench, eyes on the bar, hand wrapping around that cold, knurled steel. The moment of tension, the weight in your hands, the silence before the lift, it's a mix of fear and focus that I've grown to love. Back when I was just a skinny kid reading muscle magazines, all the icons preached the same gospel: squat, deadlift, bench. I listened. I still remember the first time I loaded up 135 pounds, one plate per side, and wobbled through a few shaky reps. But that moment lit a fire. The barbell bench became my personal scoreboard. 135 became 185, then 225, then 275. Every milestone felt like leveling up in a video game. First time benching my body weight? Huge. Then 1.5 times? even better. That steady progress gave me more than a bigger chest. It gave me confidence, discipline, and drive. And physically, the barbell bench just fits me. I've got decent shoulder mobility, a balanced wingspan, and with proper form, tight back, braced core, leg drive, the lift feels like a full body expression of strength, centered on my chest. When I experimented with going all in on dumbbells for a while, I missed that grounded, powerful feel. Don't get me wrong, dumbbells are awesome, and they absolutely have their place. But sometimes I'd spend more energy getting the dumbbells into position and keeping them stable than actually pressing them. With the barbell, I can lock in my setup and focus on nothing but the rep. It's consistent, it's repeatable. It's like comparing a mountain bike to a unicycle. Dumbbells challenge balance and coordination, while a barbell lets you push pure power. Another reason I love the barbell is progress tracking. With dumbbells, especially heavier ones, the jumps can be too big, 5 or even 10 pounds per hand, and that can stall progress. With a barbell, I can microload. I even bought 1.25 pound plates so I could progress from 250 to 252.5 to 255. Those tiny victories kept me going. And in training, momentum matters. It's easier to stay consistent when you can see and feel the progress. And then there's the community. Barbell bench days at the gym were events. You'd rotate in with a couple buddies, spot each other, cheer on big lifts, and push harder than you would have alone. That shared intensity built friendships and memories. Dumbbells didn't really offer the same camaraderie. They're both of a solo mission. That's why, for me, the barbell bench press will always have a home in my routine. Not because I think dumbbells are inferior. In fact, I often use dumbbell presses right after barbell work to finish off my chest. But if I had to pick one lift, it's the barbell. It's the one that's been with me since day one. The one that taught me how to train, how to grind, and how to win one rep at a time. On the flip side of the barbell bench legacy stands Jay Cutler, 4-time Mr. Olympia, who dropped flat barbell benching to avoid injury. He saw too many lifters tear their pecs chasing big numbers. For Jay, it was never about lifting the most. It was about building a massive chest safely and consistently. He turned to dumbbells and machines, still training hard, but with more control, better joint angles, and a stronger mind-muscle connection. Dumbbells let him fine-tune each rep, isolate each pec, and reduce shoulder strain, critical for a sport where symmetry matters more than numbers. Jay's strategy worked. Thick, striated pecs and no major injuries. He didn't fear the barbell, he just chose the right tool for his goals. And that's the real lesson. Train with what fits your body best. For me, I found balance. I start with barbells to move big weights and build strength, then switch to dumbbells or flies for control and chest isolation. It's a mix of power and precision, and it works. It doesn't have to be either or. The barbell is a cannon, raw explosive force. Dumbbells are sniper rifles, controlled and targeted. Both can build serious muscle, they just do it differently. So don't choose based on hype. Choose based on what keeps you progressing without pain. And next time you hit the bench, ask yourself, what am I benching for? Is it strength, size, longevity? Maybe all three. Whatever the goal, let that guide your choice and keep pressing forward. Your chest gains are, quite literally, in your hands. If you want to achieve a Greek god physique naturally, make sure you watch this video series where I rank the best and worst exercises for muscle building.